What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and this is going to be my Resplendent review of Matthew, and I'll be going over the builds for him, and at the end I'll also have a re-refined theorycraft for him. So Resplendent Matthew is a Gen 1 colorless infantry dagger unit, and he did get his weapon refined back in 2019 in Spy's Dagger. So this weapon can give +6 defense and resistance to him and the allies within 2 spaces after he is attacked. And then the weapon refined part basically has the broadleaf fan effect, meaning that he can get extra attack depending on the total penalties present on the opponent. So this was actually a pretty nice weapon when he got the weapon refined back in 2019, and he was actually a meta unit in Ether 8's offense when Vantage was still used a lot. And back in those days we had Vantage units like Kronia, Matthew, even broadleaf fan Soth going all around. And Matthew definitely worked really well in that meta with a Temari dancer like Tethys, who can just give him the attack and speed debuffs, and then he could get the debuffs from his weapon as well. So I do remember seeing him quite a lot back in those days, but as time went on we got a lot bulkier units, so it got really hard for him to Vantage, and then we got damage reduction, we got save skills, and he just fell out really hard. And his low attack stat and the age weapon refine didn't really help with his viability in the current times. So that's why Matthew right now is just a unit that you'll invest into if you're a big fan of him. Outside of that, there's not a big incentive to invest into him because he just has 27 base attack. He does have a super boon, but still it is going to be taking a lot of investment for him, and he can be compared to a lot of the free-to-play infantry dagger units, even if you're not talking about the free Yuri that we're going to be getting from the Hero Rises event for 3 houses. So there's Resplendent, Soth, Legault, and Kaze, which all ended up getting pretty nice weapon refines for free-to-play units, and they all could be good investments if you want to invest into a free-to-play dagger unit. Gangrel is also going to be getting a weapon refine in the future, so he can definitely get better. As you can see by the comparisons, his speed is quite competitive to these units, but unfortunately he loses out on the attack stat, and he does have higher defense than any of these units. So that is the one niche which Matthew has got over the other dagger infantry units, but unfortunately his other shortcomings can hold him back. If you want to build up Matthew, then I would suggest going for the high investment or max investment. He's not the kind of Gen 1 unit that you use on a budget, so only invest into him if you can afford to have all of these resources and premium skills go to him. And with this weapon refine, he wants to have the debuff on the opponent, so having attack speed menace can definitely help him to start out with his extra damage output. And attack speed unity does have good synergy with being near the allies and also with the form skill. So the first build is something that he can run by using a Brave Marianne and also getting the menace skill, which is going to be helping him get the debuffs before the combat. You can also use him with Speed Smoke 4 now that we have it. This can be used at max investment so that you can get the damage reduction after the combat, and the speed debuff is also going to be helping you get the extra damage output. So this new premium skill can work out on a maxed out Matthew, and attack speed ideal does have good synergy with the visible buffs that he can get out of his weapon as well as the Speed Smoke 4. When we get the close variant of Distant Dart, you can try and run that on Matthew so that he can also retaliate back to the melee opponents and still get the extra speed. But attack speed ideal 4 also works out fine. Now close reversal and close foil are the options on Matthew which are going to be really popular, especially with a Vantage build. And now that Ether 8's Chaos is coming up, it could be an option to use him again, especially with some modern units like Winter Bernadetta, so that he can enter the Vantage range, and you can easily run him with a Temari dancer or a debuffing ally that can help with his damage output. One big reason why he can work in Ether 8's Chaos is because the enemies are not going to be having the mythic buffs, so they're going to be a lot less bulky, and there's also not going to be the 7-slot unit, so it is going to be a lot easier for him to Vantage sweep. So you could try and use him just like the old times maybe in Ether 8's Chaos, but outside of that, in the regular Ether 8's offense, it is going to be definitely pretty hard for him to Vantage. And even in Ether 8's Chaos, there are definitely going to be a lot more bulky units with the debuff neutralization and everything, which is going to be making troublesome for him. But still, it could be an option in the new season coming up for Ether 8's Chaos. And finally, if you do want to invest into him for Arena, then he could be used with C-Dual Infantry 4. And Attack Speed Menace, like I said before, does help him quite a lot because he can get the extra damage in his first combat, and he doesn't have to wait for the other debuffs to go off after he attacks with a Spy's Dagger. So this can help him get the extra attack and also get the extra speed, which goes really well with Null Follow-Up. And Null Follow-Up pretty much ends up being a pretty good slot B skill for him because he can be fast. and you can run lethality if you want to, but it is going to be having higher cooldown, and unless you have someone who can support you with your special cooldowns, it is realistically not going to be going off that much. So that's why Ruptured Sky can work, and you can just try and run a secret shield that can give him more attack. Matthew is a really good character in Blazing Sword, so I would have liked if he had got a better weapon refine. He definitely got the mileage out of this in that meta when this refine came out, but it didn't really age to be that good, so that's why this is the re-refine that I would give to him if I had the control. So this Spy's Dagger gives him +3 attack, which definitely helps him with his low attack stat, and at start of turn it can inflict -6 attack and speed debuff on the closest foes within 5 spaces and any foes who are within 2 spaces of those foes. So this is really similar to the debuffs that we have seen on Adrift Camilla's weapon refine, but this is for attack and speed, so this could definitely help him get the extra damage right from the start, and this could also help him with the broadleaf fan effect that he has got in his weapon refine. But outside of that, I would also like to give him the Plagian effect, which we have seen on the Plagian weapons, and the Vulture Tome in the primary effect, so that he can get a lot more out of the debuffs and just double down on it. And the Plagian effect can definitely help Matthew quite a lot defensively as well, because we don't really have a Plagian dagger, and Matthew can make good use out of his high defense compared to all of the other free-to-play dagger infantry units. His weapon refine is still going to be having the broadleaf effect so that he can get the extra damage output, and then he can also get +5 attack and speed in the combat, which is definitely going to be helping him. So with this new modern weapon refine, he can not only function as a support ally for his teammates, but he can also just double down on the debuffs that he can get and also function a lot better defensively because of the Plagian effect, and just ends up getting a bit more firepower with the broadleaf effect and also the extra attack and speed. With Matthew's low base attack, I don't really want to give him the true damage like Gaius or give him the damage reduction like Legault. I just wanted to make him a bit more unique compared to the other free-to-play daggers that we have got, and this weapon refine pretty much does that because he's going to be able to provide the support to his allies, and whenever this kind of low attack unit can provide some support, they can justify their usage on many team comps, so he can basically function as a support unit when he's not going to be attacking, and he can take the advantage of these debuffs himself. And the Plagian effect is definitely pretty unique for a free-to-play dagger unit, and this just doubles down on the debuffs and makes him a lot more bulky, which can definitely make use of his defense. So let me know what you think about my theorycraft in the comment section down below, and if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to leave a like and a comment. Helps me tremendously, and if you really enjoyed, you could always support me directly by using super thanks or by becoming a YouTube member down below. And for more Respledent reviews, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as his weapon refine against debuff neutralization. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.